Maguire. First Premier League win for Bruno Fernandes. But before we get to Harry Maguire's goal, at 1-0, as I said, John, the second half was full of talking points. Let's deal with the first disallowed Chelsea goal. What are your thoughts on this?
For me, these are clearly offsides. It's either on or it's off. And he's...
The Zuma one.
Oh, there's the push, sorry. For me, this is a... No.
You said it, the push.
Yeah.
The push, isn't it?
He's given him a push, but Fred's nudged him from behind, though, as well. Owen made a good point during the break as well. He's kind of blocking himself from going. He gets a nudge initially from Fred.
Fred pushes first. That's a fact.
And Azpilicueta protects himself.
He does, yeah, because if you think you get pushed, then ultimately you brace yourself in front of you. So he puts two hands on the back of Williams there, and you can understand why he's overturned it. But actually, once Fred pushes Azpilicueta, I don't think you can say that he's pushed. You know what I mean? I think he's actually just bracing himself for anything that happens. And that's where VAR and players, the inconsistencies are. A lot of us don't understand it.
So, at the end of all that, should the goal stand for you or not, Owen?
I don't think Azpilicueta does anything wrong. He gets pushed and then he braces himself.
So it should be a goal?
Yeah, of course it should.
For me as well.
Paul?
No, not for me, no. No. Look, it's the faintest of touches from Fred. Azpilicueta clearly puts both hands out. Brendan Williams going to clear it, he's going to head it away, and he's pushed out the way, so it's clearly a foul. What's wrong with you?
He gets a nudge, though, didn't he, in the first place? I think we all admit that. He gets
a little touch, though, John. It's big centre-half, look at him going over. It's a little nudge.
But to be fair, Brandon makes the most of it. Brandon does a good job of actually making it look worse than it is. And to be fair, I don't think if Brandon does that, I think the goal stands. The fact of the matter is, Fred pushes first, right? We all agree on that.
Yeah. No, we don't. It's
no,
push.
Paul's not saying that's a push.
Oh, he does definitely push.
It's a little flick on his... One of his ribs.
When you're moving at speed in the box around 1 or 2 yards, all you need is a little nudge, which is what he got, which then prevents him. He then puts his hands up to prevent himself from going into the player.
We'll agree to disagree, Steve.
You get any nudges in England training? Did he go down?
No,
he was at world's worst.
He gave you two. He
never did the two-handed approach. Now, Harry Maguire obviously scored the goal. You heard him talking about the incident there. Should he have been on the pitch is the big question.
Probably not, no, when you look back at it. I know he denies it strongly, said he was trying to hold him up. I don't think we're quite having that with this. It's a straight kick out, isn't it? Clearly into his midriff, shall we say.
You could probably argue initially that's a nudge there. It's a foul in the first place.
By Batshuayi?
Yeah, by Batshuayi, it's a foul. But that's a kick out there.
Yeah, I think, again, we go back to the inconsistencies of... We saw Son earlier this season. He got a red card for something incredibly similar. And I think there... You think back to the first thing, as soon as I saw it, I thought, oh, it's the same as Son. And Son got sent off virtually straight away. It's almost, again, an identical action there. It's just a slight kick out, and he actually pushes up to it. Son got 3 games for that.
I think if anything, Maguire's is worse than that.
Yeah, I agree.
I do, yeah. I think it's a straight leg. Son gets in a little bit there. Rudiger makes the most of it. Do you know what? Being off the pitch might have made a little bit of a difference to it. It wasn't as serious, maybe, if it's off the pitch. And
doesn't affect the referee's decision.
I know it doesn't, yeah. I'm just saying, because it wasn't on the pitch, it might just have a little thought in his head. I also think the reaction from the Chelsea bench as well could have been a little bit more aggressive, and it's more aggressive. I think that...
Forces the issue, yeah. Because Rudiger made a bit of a...
So he's wanting you coaching staff to get more
I'm thinking if Mourinho's on that Chelsea bench, he's going ballistic there. He's got his hand up like this.
He did actually go ballistic at Rudiger after saying it was an Oscar-worthy performance, and he said, in terms of...
No, but I'm saying at the time, time to get a player sent off.
Bench now, Paul.
Yeah.
My problem is Batshuayi's down for, a minute maybe. You've got the referee there, you've got the fourth official. Have a look at it. That's what the screen's there for. I think that's the issue for players as well.
They're close enough to look at it, aren't they?
Let the referee ref the game. So if you've got a minute break, use that minute. Because it just ticks the box. Because all of us now are going, why don't you go and look at the screen? Then he can make a decision. He's got a feel for it. The guys in the studio haven't got a feel for it there.
Well, you think all of us, I'm not sure about you, Steve, but we think it's a kick and it's probably a sending off. How can us four be wrong? There's not a difference of opinion, is there? You wonder what they're doing up there. What are they seeing?
Well, we're going to speak to Dermot Gallagher in a moment once we've cleared everything off. And a reminder, Paul, that I am strictly neutral in this chair, and you have played the game at the highest level. and you are here for your opinions, not me. 2-0, Harry Maguire with the header.
Get that straight, that's swap chairs. Come on, give us your opinion. You'll have to give opinion, aren't you? You think it was sending off?
Are we
You think it was sending off?
I haven't got, 11 Premier League titles to be able to clarify it with such...
It doesn't matter, you don't need that.
Maguire's header.
Great header, yeah. You think it was a good goal?
That's a good delivery, that's all I know.
It's a great delivery, and Fernandes did that all night, didn't he? He whipped some really good balls and he looked dangerous. And Maguire's been threatening to do this all season. I know he did it a lot for Leicester. He's come up with England as well, scored a couple of goals. And I think John wants to explain the movement there.
Yeah, just the point now, with the VAR and the no blocking and, you know, the pushing in the box not allowed, this is a thing now where I ask my defenders to do in the box. If you go and stand like this and use your own man as protection there, if you're Rudiger marking Maguire, you've got nowhere to go. If Maguire comes short there, you got half a yard. If you go around the back, you've got half a yard as well. But you use your man as that protection in front of you. It's perfect. I'm surprised a lot of teams don't use it more. You look at there's a yard
separation there, isn't there? Yeah, it's good.
There's a yard, and that's all you need in a.
And that's all Bailly's trying to do, isn't he? He's not even he's not even facing the goal. You know, he's facing Maguire, just providing almost like a pick, they call it, basketball,
a
screen, yeah.
Screening him, yeah.
And look, and because Rudiger actually does the right thing, he steps off because Bailly's in the way almost, and watch, and because of that, John's right. He gets a yard head start on Rudiger, and that's just enough. The ball's so good. Rudiger can't get there, and that's the Harry Maguire we saw with England.
Great header, yeah.
And that's sometimes the fine margins in that situation that make all the difference.
That's all you need. You look at the goal from Martial, all you need is half a yard inside the box, and that gives you that.
And we're even talking about the man on the post as well. Chelsea don't have a man on the post. If there's a man on the post, is cleared, so that's another small detail that went missing, I suppose.
2 Manchester United headers tonight away from home.
Yeah, unusual. Great win. That was a great header. We've expected that from Harry, as we've said all season. Not quite happened, but no, great header. Martial as well, with the first goal, another header. Before the game started, I was thinking United probably had more problems with Chelsea, but after the game, I think there's a few issues, Frank especially, has to sort out. I think the keeper's a big one. I know leaving Kepa out, he probably needs to do it because he'd not been great. But I'd only do it if you had someone who you thought was good enough to replace him. I just don't think this keeper is. He's been a number 2 for God knows how many years, and you can see why he's a number 2. I think psychologically for the other team, you're coming in thinking, Cavalier, let's get shots off against him, we'll score against him. So I think there's issues there. I think there's centre-forward issues. There's an issue with centre-forward for Frank as well, and obviously with creativity. Losing Hazard's a big miss for him, of course. It's a big loss for Frank, and he hasn't quite managed to replace that, but he's only bought one player, and you know, as John said, with 2 or 3 transfer windows, hopefully he'll try and solve that problem.
He has got things to think about, as Paul says.
Yeah, a little bit. Would the keeper understand that as well? That could be the making of Kepa as well. Could he need that little nudge to go, I need to kick on again to make it in the Premier League? We spoke about the guy, didn't we, earlier? It took him a couple of years to find his feet on the best in the world. You know, so that can always inspire lads to then push on again. But yeah, short up top when Tammy's not playing, I think that's clear and evident. Batshuayi looks short of games tonight, I must say. But listen, Frank and Ollie both need time, both of them. Both young managers in the game, both at their clubs that they've played at. You know, it's looking good for both of them, but give them a couple of windows and see what Frank can do. Giroud
came off the bench and he thought he'd scored. But you haven't got quite as an issue with this one, have you?
No, not an issue with the offsides for me, because they're either on or they're off. The subjective ones are difficult, but listen, it's the first time Chelsea really get down the outside. It's a great ball in from Mason, great movement. And we're looking at it thinking, he can't be offside there. And you're looking by probably a foot or a big toe, he's offside. So it's disappointing, but there for everyone to see. As supporters and as pundits now, we look at it and go, yeah, he's offside. You can't argue that, because the line's there. When the ball's kicked, he's offside. So I've not got a problem with that one. It's the other ones that I think the players have got an issue with.
Owen?
Yeah,
you're grimacing.
Ultimately, I just think football, it's entertainment, isn't it? And obviously, offside can be black and white, it can. But from that side, if that was a linesman, that would have never, ever been given, I don't think, because you couldn't have seen it. Whereas John's right, it's almost like a toenail. That's, you know, and that's what it is. And I think there needs to be some sort of leeway, because I think ultimately fans want to see more goals. You know what I mean? And we're getting good goals chalked off for a toenail.